messages from
Hello. Oh, sorry.
Hey, what you doing?
I don't know how to turn it off. There it goes. Okay. Oh, hold on, you guys.
Professional streamer moment.
I'm trying to air on Instagram, and I don't know how to turn it down.
We're experimenting, folks.
Oh my.
Pro streamer moment.
Wait a minute. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Testing.
I've never done it before.
Oh wow, they allow Twitter
I have
comments
no idea
now.
how to turn
Cool.
it down. Does anybody else know how to turn it down?
I refuse to use anything meta.
I don't know how to turn the volume down.
On the side of the phone or what? Or in the website?
Is it the website or just like click the screen on Instagram and that should mute you?
I don't hear it.
If you click the screen that's showing the video or the stream, it should mute it.
You should, you mute it.
It's not working.
Then close out of Instagram, I guess.
Well, I don't hear anything. So.
There is no.
I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. There's not an echo or anything, so
you don't hear anything.
Not a damn thing. Just us talking about can't hear a damn thing.
Yeah.
What? What did you say? Just kidding. I don't hear anything.
Welcome everybody. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. It's the Friday Night Shit Show.
I should call myself Redhead.
And I'm Orange Hat.
So,
Orange Hat. We got Mr. Ruben,
Orange Hat,
and the Red
I'm
Hat.
going to let him go first because tonight we're going to call this the free for all.
Santa by day.
And I'm going to let everybody just do their thing. So I'm going to let Orange Hat go first, and I have it ready. You're going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to put it up, and you're going to run it, right?
Yep. And I'll give a little bit of a. So this thing. Oh, I also accidentally have that stuff. But anyway, basically, before we get started, folks, this is essentially one of the most important things that people should watch if you are an American in the United States of America. Because our government, our politicians, or basically our media, all have been spreading the biggest lie over a decade. And it's really, it really is a shame because they keep on saying our democracy is under threat. And got a person freaking messaging me like very incessantly annoying. But anyway, sorry about that.
But they are right. They're right.
Yes. They keep on saying
democracy
we're democracy.
Is mob rule. They want mob rule.
It is mob rule. And that is what they want. But this video, which is like 12, 13, 14 years old, is one of the most important videos that a person can watch today. So it's called Republic versus Democracy. What is America's real form of government? So without any further ado, let's give it a look because this is so important. This is stuff I learned in high school and they don't teach this anymore. So after this is done, I also want to give a little bit of stuff after that to basically finish off my segment.
When Benjamin Franklin exited the Constitutional Convention, he was asked by a woman, "Sir, what have you given us?" His immediate response was, A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it. Yet most Americans today have been persuaded that our nation's governmental system is a democracy and not a republic. The difference between these two is essential in understanding Americanism and the American system. Before we discuss political systems, however, it's helpful to address the confusion that has been spread about the political spectrum. Many have been led to believe that the political spectrum places groups such as communists on the far left, fascists or dictators on the far right, and political moderates or centrists in the middle. However, a more accurate political spectrum will show government having zero power on the far right to having 100% power on the far left. At the extreme right, there is no government. The extreme left features total government under such labels as communism, socialism, Nazism, fascism, princes, potentates, dictators, kings, any form of total government. Those who claim that Nazis and fascists are right-wing never define their terms. This amounts to spreading confusion. Toward the middle of the political spectrum can be found the type of government limited to its proper role of protecting the rights of the people. That's where the Constitution of the United States is. Those who advocate such a form of government are really constitutional moderates. So let's analyze.
To pause for a moment, folks, this is actually the political scale here that shows here. I've shared this on Twitter many times on my different accounts that got nuked over times and this and that. But because Twitter, unfortunately, still censors people, chances are you won't see it unless you are following me and have the bell on the desktop to let you know when I post stuff. But let's continue.
Such a form of government are really constitutional moderates. So let's analyze the basic forms of government. They are monarchy or dictatorship ruled by one, oligarchy ruled by a few, democracy ruled by a majority, republic ruled by law, and anarchy, which is ruled by no one. In discussing these five, we'll see that they can be narrowed down to even fewer. Looking first at monarchy or dictatorship, this form of government doesn't really exist in the practical sense. It's always a group that puts one of its members up front. A king has his council of nobles or earls, and every dictator has his bureaucrats or commissars, the men behind the scenes. This isn't ruled by one, even though one person may be the visible leader. It's ruled by a group. So let's eliminate monarchy, dictatorship, because it never truly exists. Oligarchy, which is ruled by a group, is the most common form of government in all history, and it is the most common form of government today. Most of the nations of the world are ruled by a powerful few, and therefore oligarchy remains. At the other end, we find anarchy, which means without government. Some people have looked over history and found that many of its worst crimes were committed by governments, so they decided that having no government might be a good idea. But this is a mistake, because as the ancient Greeks stated, without law, there can be no freedom. Our founding fathers agreed and held that some amount of government is a necessary force in any civilized, orderly society. In a state of anarchy, everyone has to guard life, liberty, and property, and the lives of family members. Everyone must be armed, and movement is severely restricted because one's property has to be protected at all times. Civilized people have always hired someone to do the guarding, a sheriff, a police force, or some branch of government. Once law enforcement was in place, the people were freer. They could leave their property, work in the fields, and so on. In short, the proper amount of government makes everyone freer. There are some who advocate anarchy, however, not because they want no government, but because they don't like what they have. They use anarchy as a tool for revolutionary change. The condition of anarchy is very much like a vacuum where something rushes in to fill it. These calculating anarchists work to break down the existing government with rioting, killing, looting, and terrorism. Tragically, the people living in such chaos often go to those best able to put an end to it and beg them to take over and restore order. And who is best able to put an end to the chaos? The very people who started it. The anarchists who created the problem then create a government run by them, an oligarchy, where they have total power. This is exactly what happened in Russia that led to Lenin taking total power, and in Germany, where Hitler's brown shirts created the chaos that brought him to power. But anarchy isn't a stable form of government. It's a quick transition from something that exists to something desired by the power-hungry. It's a temporary condition, and because it isn't permanent, we eliminate it as well.
Now, also something that y'all should really take note of, the anarchy fist there. How many different groups do we all know that use that? Black Lives Matter and all those other Antifa groups. That's because that's what they secretly want. But let's continue.
The word democracy comes from two Greek words, demos, meaning people, and kratein, meaning to rule. Democracy, therefore, means the rule of the people, majority rule. This, of course, sounds good, but suppose the majority decides to take away one's home, or business, or children. Obviously, there has to be a limit. The flaw in democracy is that the majority isn't restrained. If more than half the people can be persuaded to want something in a democracy, they rule. What about republic? Well, that comes from the Latin. Res, meaning thing, and publica, meaning public. It means the public thing, the law. A true republic is one where the government is limited by law, leaving the people alone. America's founders had a clean slate to write on. They could have set up an oligarchy. In fact, there were some who wanted George Washington to be their king. But the founding fathers knew history, and they chose to give us the rule of law in a republic, not the rule of a majority in a democracy. Why? Let's demonstrate the difference in the setting of the Old West. Consider a lynch mob in a democracy. 35 horseback riders chase one lone gunman. They catch him, and they vote 35-1 to hang him. Democracy has triumphed, and there's one less gunman to contend with. Now consider the same scenario in a republic. The 35 horseback riders catch the gunman and vote 35-1 to hang him, but the sheriff arrives, and he says, "You can't kill him. He's got his right to a fair trial." So they take the gunman back to town. A jury of his peers is selected, and they hear the evidence and the defense, and they decide if he shall hang. Does the jury even decide by majority rule? No, it has to be unanimous or he goes free. The rights of the gunman aren't subject to majority rule, but to the law. This is the essence of a republic. Many Americans would be surprised to learn that the word democracy does not appear in the Declaration of Independence or the U.S. Constitution, nor does it appear in any of the constitutions of the 50 states. The founders did everything they could to keep us from having a democracy. James Madison, rightly known as the father of the Constitution, wrote in essay number 10 of the Federalist Papers, "Democracies have ever been spectacles of turbulence and contention, have ever been found incompatible with personal security or the rights of property, and have in general been as short in their lives as they have been violent in their deaths." Alexander Hamilton agreed, and he stated, "We are a republican government. Real liberty is never found in despotism or in the extremes of democracy." Samuel Adams, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, stated, "Democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself." The founders had good reason to look upon democracy with contempt because they knew that the democracies in the early Greek city-states produced some of the wildest excesses of government imaginable. In every case, they ended up with mob rule, then anarchy, and finally tyranny under an oligarchy. During that period in Greece, there was a man named Solon who urged creation of a fixed body of law not subject to majority whims. But where the Greeks never adopted Solon's wise counsel, the Romans did. Based on what they knew of Solon's laws, they created the 12 tables of the Roman law and, in effect, built a republic that limited government power and left the people alone. Since government was limited, the people were free to produce, with the understanding that they could keep the fruits of their labor. In time, Rome became wealthy and the envy of the world. In the midst of plenty, however, the Roman people forgot what freedom entailed. They forgot that the essence of freedom is the proper limitation of government. When government power grows, people freedom recedes. Once the Romans dropped their guard, power-seeking politicians began to exceed the powers granted them in the Roman constitution. Some learned that they could elect politicians who would use government power to take property from some and give it to others. Agriculture subsidies were introduced, followed by housing and welfare programs. Inevitably, taxes rose and controls over the private sector were imposed. Soon, a number of Rome's producers could no longer make ends meet, and they went on the dole. Productivity declined, shortages developed, and mobs began roaming the streets, demanding bread and circuses from the government. Many were induced to trade freedom for security. Eventually, the whole system came crashing down. They went from a republic to a democracy and ended up with an oligarchy under a progression of the Caesars. Thus, democracy itself is not a stable form of government. Instead,
there we go. I've been trying to get your attention. All right, let's get back to this.
it is the gradual transition from limited government to the unlimited rule of an oligarchy. Knowing this, we as Americans are ultimately left with only two choices. We can keep our republic, as
I'm
Franklin put
sorry,
it,
I was trying to get these
or we will
earphones
inevitably
in.
end up with an oligarchy,
It's all right.
a tyranny of the elite.
So that's the end of this video. And it's important because if you pay attention to what was going on in Rome in this video, folks, it's happening right now in our constitutional republic. We've allowed ourselves to get lazy. We've allowed power-hungry politicians, both Republican and Democrat, who are essentially trying to take power for themselves. Look at what they have done to our schools, where they have taken out the Pledge of Allegiance. That's because it stands for, or because there's a certain line in it, and to the republic for which it stands. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That is one of the most important things of our Pledge of Allegiance. And also, look how they are no longer teaching history. They want revisionist history. They don't want to teach you ancient history, because that is the lessons that were in this video as well, of how democracies are not sustainable. Democracies are literally a first step in a three-step tier of democracy, socialism, communism. And when people are using the political scale, how they say far right are Nazis and stuff, far left, this video is correct. They never define their terms. They instead say, oh, you're just, or you just are a Nazi, or you're a fascist. And they don't ever say how or why we are. But if you look at the people of history, where you look at the tyrants, Mao, where you look at Hitler and all of them other ones, well, yeah, they fit communism, Marxism, or fascism, because they literally destroyed their own countries in order to seize power. Look at literally what is going on right now in the United States today. Joe Biden and his administration were right now pretty much an oligarchy under the guise of a democracy, saying, and look at how he has destroyed our economy. Look how he has destroyed all the lawlessness in the streets, and a wide open border. You destroy a country, so you then will have people who are sick and tired of it ask the government to create something else. And yet they have constantly said, we're a democracy. Our threat is under democracy because of Trump. And I have not yet heard one single presidential candidate in our current race, be it Republican or Democrat. Well, there is no Democratic race, because they're saying you either vote for Biden or you don't vote at all. But all the Republican nominees, none of them, except for Nikki Haley, of all people, who is a rhino in every sense of the word, she has actually called us a republic once. But if you listen to Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, all the mainstream media, they call America a democracy. I've heard Kayleigh McEnany call our country a democracy. And I find that deeply shameful when she was one of the best, in my opinion, she was one of the best press secretaries that we had. But it's like, seriously, now you're fitting in with the big lie as well? Shame on you. Anybody who does call our government a democracy when it is a constitutional republic should not be allowed. Well, they should be allowed, but they are undeserving of the title of President of the United States, because we are not a democracy. We're not a democratic republic. We're not we are not a Republican democracy. We are a constitutional republic, because our forefathers had the insight, the foresight of hundreds of years in the future, where they knew that people in our government would eventually want to try to seize power. What is going on right now? They are saying that Donald Trump is going to seize power. He's going to be a dictator. They've been saying that since before 2016 for that race. He never did it then. He's not going to do it now. When they said, oh, he's going to try to seize power, he's going to try to take over, be Hitler-Aryan and all that other stuff. When it was time for him to go, he left. And yet we see somebody like Joe Biden, who hides in his basement, gets his diapers changed by his doctor wife, and we see all this other stuff where they're literally telling him what to say. Oh, I don't even know what I'm signing here. And you see that he's signed more executive decisions in 1 week than Trump did in his entire presidency. And also, before he took office, Joe Biden was very well noted saying a person who rules by executive order is a fascist or a tyrant. What did he do his first day in? Wrote 56 executive orders, undoing the progress we have made. We were a jewel that was just rising out of the sand under Trump. I'm not saying it was perfect, but I am saying it was very good of a life to live. But now people are seeing the truth of what is going on, and they're kind of like, this place sucks. So when they are changing education, when they're changing the language, kind of like what we were warned about from the Orwellian 1984 novel, how they will change the language of what we're speaking, how they will try to subvert history. Look at what they have done. Black Lives Matter wants to do the 1619 Project, where they're saying, oh, America was racist and they were built on slaves. America was built on slaves. America, yes, had slaves, but they want to say it's a white supremacy nation. The first legal slave owner was black, folks. Sorry for any of those who have earphones in if I get too loud. But also the people who sold slaves to America were black. Yeah, that Woman King movie wasn't so accurate when they came to describing the reality of history, where the people who went in and slaughtered the Dahomey or tried to in the movie, they were actually the people that were trying to get rid of the slaves and the slave trade. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And, well, slavery made its way over to the United States. And we then had leaders like Abraham Lincoln, who, yes, did own slaves, but he was willing to give up his slaves because he realized they were people too. Jim Crow is under the Democratic Party. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, the Republicans and Democrats switched. There is no evidence to ever support that.
What point was that? When did that happen? When did that happen?
Never did.
There's a quote by LBJ. wait, he was a Democrat from Texas, and he said something a little naughty about a certain sub group of people. I don't want to say subspecies or something, but you remember what he said, right? Do you remember that? I remember what he said. LBJ.
Damn
quote,
it! We're on Rumble. Can't say it. Shit.
Well,
I'll have
here's-
them.
Why you can't say it on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube, but
yeah.
Anyway,
I'm looking at something in yeah. I'm sorry, I'm looking at something in the private chat. Somebody sent a link in. But yeah,
whenever you say democracy, I keep seeing that scene out of the Princess Bride. You keep using that word. I do not think it means.
Yeah,
I think it
I don't
means.
think you know
And
what it means. Yeah,
even somebody like Tucker Carlson uses it all the time, constantly.
and that's why I think he's a freaking nutcase too. It's like, dude, you are very famous. You're growing in political stature. I mean, there's rumors that they want him even to be our vice president, and I'm like, no, this man also freaking spreads the big lie that we are a democracy. I have excoriated my own congresswoman, Elise Stefanik, for referring to our country as a democracy. I've excoriated her for voting in the affirmative to send money to Ukraine.
That's why when I got to watch Laura Logan last night, or listen to her, I mean, on Spaces, Monica Matthew hosted her on Spaces, and one of the guests asked her a question, and he used the word democracy, and she said, "We do not live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic." So there are people out there that know what it means, and that we are not in a democracy. But see, the Democrats want us to be in one. So when they push us into it, people will already be saying democracy, democracy, democracy constantly instead of a republic.
They've been saying it for years, and that is the thing.
But the intelligence of the normal
the more you repeat a lie, the more people think it's true.
Exactly. And that is why it is so important to take that video, share it as wide as you can. When I say this stuff a lot of the time on Twitter.
Can we put the link in the chat for everybody that's in here?
Yeah, I can actually, I'll do that right now.
Please, everyone in the chat, please share this video far and wide. Try to get
on Twitter, post it.
To watch it.
If you're on Twitter, post this video, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, do everything you can so that people will realize this isn't the truth. And if they say it's just right-wing propaganda, just let them know this wasn't even done under Trump's time. This was done under Obama's years. This video was released, I believe, even before Obama.
But all they have to do
president
is look up the history of it.
But it's been going on a lot longer than that. It's been going on
Yes.
since the 1850s. You know, it's been going on since we right after the War of 1812 is when everything started happening. Then, and then with we're reliving that aspect when you had the kings and the queens and the great houses in the 1850s. The Fabian socialists started doing this. They wanted to reforge the world in their own image. And then this led to all the things that are going on. We had assassination attempts going on. We had the Bolsheviks. We had the anarchists, which would be the BLM of today, the Antifa of today, doing this back in the 1890s, 1880s. And then the whole idea that brought on the whole modernization of America, the industrialization of it. That's the trigger. And then you had the same thing where this is where the problem is, where you have the corporations starting to come up, like the Carnegie, the DuPont, Rockefellers, all those were big. And then the first thing they did after they sunk the Titanic to get rid of their foes was to institute the creature from Jekyll Island, which is the Federal Reserve Bank. And that happened right there in April 1912, and then 1913, and then they bring it in. Then this is where they start. And then you had their god, Woodrow Wilson, who brought in all this crap that we're going through right now. So it's been a long time.
Yes, Janet, it is the link for no wait, that's not the link for the video.
it
But
is
share
it?
my screen, please.
Okay. Here we go.
Here's the link in the private chat. But yes, I've also posted this as a screenshot on Twitter myself. It's like people constantly say left and right. Now, when they say things like alt-right and it has become a slur, technically that is actually more of an accurate term. When you are saying alternative right, because when they say far right, that's literally no government.
Yeah.
But when you use terms like alt-right, which is just basically in a technical term, far left, because those people who are on the alt-right or those people who actually are conservative right-wing who are advocating for more government, they're actually far left Republicans. So yes. So yes, that's actually something that a lot of people do not realize is that some of our Republicans in the Republican Party are actually left-leaning, where we have others who are actually constitutional moderates. And you also have those, but you don't have any who are far right, because they are, or if you are far right, you're literally advocating for no government. This is the most accurate, and this was taught back when I was in school, not just high school, but grade school, because we did mock elections in our schools when I was grade school. I didn't understand a damn thing of it, but it was Perot, Bush, and Clinton up for the election that year, and I think Clinton won the election. Or yeah, it was.
Yeah, but when they do that,
yeah.
that's the thing. They know this because remember, the American education system, as we know it, was an outshoot of what I was talking about from Woodrow Wilson and the whole idea that Ford to basically take people from being specialists at everything to build a car to be basically the specialist of the wheel, specialist of the tire.
Yeah,
and then when you're doing here, that's why they are basically gaslighting you by basically saying. American democracy. That's what they're using now on Twitter. They're using that phrase, American democracy. So basically, so if you basically say I don't support that, then they say that you're you're against democracy. So they're already framing it.
100% right. I am against democracy because we are not a democracy.
I say that all the time too. Because I've always
Antifa came out. I remember telling everybody everything they're doing is fascism. So how can they call themselves anti-fascist when every single thing they do is fascism?
But they frame it at. But the thing is that it's not. Sorry, go ahead.
To answer some of the people in the chat, the pendulum will swing back. It's starting to swing back, and it's adding more weight onto those who are trying to hold it over to the left side right now. They realize that the pendulum eventually will have to inevitably swing back. Now they're doing everything they can to stop it from swinging back, to the point where they don't realize that the more you hold it, the heavier it's going to get. Also, soy-based Jeremy.
It's going to swing back. It's going to swing back on the left side still. That's on this, according to this, what you just
eventually, yes.
No. I'm just saying it's right now. It's in this democratic mob rule aspect of it, where government is God. Okay, then it's going to switch on the other side. It's still going to be on the left. It's still going to be on the left.
It's going to
it won't go. It's
in
not
a way.
Gonna,
it will.
It won't go. It won't go less government. It's going to go to it's everyone. It's still, that's the thing. The pendulum's going to swing only on.
We're not, it's still not finished swinging all the way to the left yet, because we are.
It won't. It never has. It won't. It doesn't, because people are pushing the other side. They're still.
They're adding counterweight to it.
But just like you see in the picture right there, where the diamond is at, it's showing you where the triangle is. It's showing you where we are, and we're still sliding. Yeah.
No, but we're not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where we should
where
be.
we
But
should be.
it's in between from what, or I would say it's
Total
in between
government and
the pyramid and the 100%. It's like right in the center,
Yeah.
right there. That's where we are.
now.
People are waking up and seeing the fascism and the Nazism and the socialism and the communism. I really think people are, because more and more people are talking about it. So, and they don't want it. Most
Yeah,
of
The
but,
them.
answer-
they don't want to have less governmental power. That's the whole point. They still want power.
Yes,
That's the whole point.
yes,
To a
some
jury.
people do. Like last night when Laura Logan said this, she said this, and you guys have heard me say it many times. And Monica Matthews said they were talking in their conversation, and Monica said that she can't believe how bad it's gotten to where people want to be controlled by the government so bad, and they're slowly being programmed, that she says she's never seen so many people in their car by themselves wearing a mask
Step
right
on my foot
now.
harder, Daddy.
But it has nothing to
No.
do with that.
So
To
that's
answer,
proof that people are already
Everyone-
brainwashed into it.
99% of people want to be in compliance with everything. Either they want
Soy-based Jeremy.
they want to get along. That's what they do, and they're
Well,
not going to
What
be
is he
independent.
saying? What is he
Soy-based
saying?
Jeremy is said or has said that. Let's see here. Republicans are considered democratic internationally.
Here?
But here's
Yeah.
the thing. We only have one democratic practice in our country, and that is a vote. That is a vote. We vote, the will of the people make their voices heard, and then it goes to the Electoral College. The majority rule, they want to get rid of the they want to get rid of the Electoral College, folks. That is another
That's
step
like
in bringing us back towards democracy, or
That's
turning us into a
Bob Rule.
democracy, rather.
what I was saying last week. Remember when I said that if they can flip Texas or Florida, they won't have to
will.
cheat, because they will always win, because they will control the Electoral College, and that's their whole goal, is to
And
do
they're
that.
going to try to cheat this. They're going to try to cheat this time.
Oh
I
yeah, they're
guarantee
going to cheat every
they are
chance.
going to try
I
to
think both
cheat
sides
again.
cheat to some degree, honestly,
Oh,
already.
yeah.
But the
But
thing
here's-
is, the influx in Texas and Florida from people from New York and all the other Democrat states, they're just flooding into Texas and into Florida. I mean, because they know that they need one of
they're
those.
trying to.
Well, they are. I've
Florida
already
has
seen a
been completely
huge
switched
change.
red.
I have so many people in Texas that are shocked of how much their schools have changed. The newspapers in the state are huge liberal rags now. And this is in the last 10 years. This is what they're saying.
It's been going a
Yeah.
lot longer than that.
San
Well, I
Antonio's
know, but
been blue
what
for a
I'm
long
saying,
time.
I'm not saying it hasn't been going on longer. What I'm saying is, in the last 10 years, my relatives that live in Houston, in Texarkana, in Dallas, in Plano, and in Denton, and Bonham. Okay, those are the towns that people live in. Say they cannot believe how many of their city council people, the people running their schools. Oh, and Austin, I know is really bad, but I don't have any relatives.
Listen, that's always been a liberal shithole. The only
Okay,
thing that
what I'm
Austin,
saying is that is going to be your whole state. Every single town in Texas is liberal. Every
except
one of
for
them.
Fort Worth,
Big cities. They're
except
all
for Fort Worth.
okay. Fort
You want
Worth.
to know a fun?
all that's left.
You want to know a fun
If you
fact about
guys
the
go
state of
start
New York?
fighting, you're going to lose your state.
Yeah,
That's
You
what-
guys
the
want to
only
know a
part of
fun
New
thing
York
about the
that's
state of New
fucking
York?
Democrat is
Go ahead.
fucking the island.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Five
Talk about
boroughs.
the state of New York now. What about
The
it?
state of New York is actually more red than people think.
Yeah, it's
True.
like
Yeah,
Illinois.
because the liberals are leaving.
This is before the liberals started leaving. This was back during the Cuomo Molinaro gubernatorial race. 95% of the state's districts voted for Molinaro,
Mhm.
the Republican.
Yeah.
And it's only because Buffalo, Albany, and New York City voted for Cuomo.
Mhm.
Those were the areas where he won because they are the most populated area. And when people say that New York, or people like Liberal Hive Mind and other places are saying that New York is a deep blue state, no, it really isn't. If we wanted, we could ease. Now, this is, folks, if the worst ever was to happen and a civil war was to go on, the people of New York, meaning not the cities, they would flood the cities and wipe them out.
That, you
That's
said something
basically
kind of funny there.
the first strategy of a civil war. You go into the highest densely populated areas because a lot of these are in New York City, they're anti-gun. You cannot, or you have to pass so much red tape in the city of New York City, or in New York City, to own a gun. There are no gun shops in New York City. If the people of the countryside wanted to invade New York City, they would succeed. They would succeed because they're so freaking liberal there that they have no way of fighting against them. Now, yes, you can talk about the armories and the police precincts, but guess what? You would have, or most of those cops are so sick and tired of the lawlessness in New York City, they'd probably join the people coming into New York City to freaking fight the war against them. Now, I'm not ever advocating for any violence of that sort, folks. I do want to make that clear. I am not advocating for any violence or wiping out of people. I don't want to see Americans killing Americans, ever.
Man.
That is one of the greatest things about our nation, is that we are a nation of laws, and we are a nation that allows people to have disagreements and is supposed to allow them to have a civil discourse. Unfortunately, those in power want to shut down any sort of dissent. That is literally a tyrannical move where they want to control what goes on social media. They don't like the fact that Elon Musk turned Twitter, now X, into a public square. They don't like the fact that people are willing to say what they wanted to say, and now they're saying things like Elon Musk has allowed so much hate speech to permeate his platform. Elon Musk has allowed speech to be unregulated because free speech allows for civil discourse. Now, are there going to be those racist and sexist and anti-Semitic people on Twitter? Yes, there will be. That is an unfortunate side effect. Now, a thing that a lot of people say about if we didn't have guns, yada, yada, yada. When our forefathers drafted the Constitution, and then they put shall not be infringed at the end of the Second Amendment, that means that technically any law that prohibits you from owning a firearm in any of the states is unconstitutional, as it is referred to as the law of the land. That means if it goes against the Constitution, that law is technically null and void, and you can sue your state in order to destroy that law. Because once a law is found unconstitutional, it has to be repealed immediately. Now, unfortunately, we have a government that will not do that. But another thing that they also need to tell, or that what people are not telling you, is that when it comes to these laws and these freedoms, you're going to have the responsibility to uphold them. And that means hearing things you're not going to want to hear when it comes to things like freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, and such. When you have a freedom to own firearms, unfortunately, there are going to be people who are going to they're going to abuse it, and they're going to commit crimes with the guns. Unfortunately, that comes with the freedom of owning a gun. You're going to have the people who will abuse these rights. Believe me, there was a thing called the Fairness Doctrine that I believe Reagan destroyed. However, when they talk about freedom of the press, all it says is that the freedom, or that our United States press is allowed to report on whatever they want and say whatever they want. However, when they do so, they are under no obligation until they have proven to be defamatory or otherwise. Now, when people say they're restrictive to, or if I was president and I would give my press secretary a very simple order. You're not to take any questions at all unless they want, and if they want to ask a question, you ask one in return. Properly identify our form of government. If you can, you will be, or we'll answer your question. If not, your question will not be answered. And here's the thing. If they say, well, that's unconstitutional, no, read the Constitution. You're allowed to ask whatever questions you want. It does not necessarily mean that the government has or is obligated under any way to answer your question. The government can't or should be transparent. Yes, it should be. However, it doesn't have to be. Free speech, yes. Will of the people, yes. Or freedom of press, yes. However, I would basically say any mainstream media, if I was president, I would say if any mainstream media wants to ask a question, they first have to identify our form of government, or what are we? And if they do not say a constitutional republic, their question will not be, or they won't be able to have their question answered. And until they are, and then if they do properly identify it, I will simply say, okay, here's our next thing.
Oh, come on.
Until the mainstream, yeah, you can allow.
I was posting the LBG quote on Twitter, and it says it's limited access. They wouldn't let me do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they won't. But also, when it comes to the media, I would say, as president, to the people of the United States, until our media apologizes for lying to the American people for over a decade, calling our country a democracy, my administration will not answer a single question from them. And until they admit that they have done so, and then admit what our form of government truly is, we will then start taking questions from them. However, every week they are to reaffirm their allegiance to our government, meaning to the republic, meaning you're also going to put the Pledge of Allegiance back into our schools. Otherwise, I'll defund your entire state.
Well, you've heard of the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act, right? That was signed. That came out in 2012.
That I have not, because back then
and
I
then
wasn't really paying much
Obama
attention.
signed something onto it that made a few changes to it. It's the act that allows the media to not tell the truth, basically. The government wants to do this, that, and the other, they will do it. And that's why you have the media saying democracy, democracy, democracy.
And here's another thing about the media.
So,
as the media has acted in concert with the government, technically they are unprotected by the First Amendment under the specifics of the freedom of press. A free press means they do not act at the behest of the government. They act on the behest of the people to inform them, not indoctrinate them. So by the media listening to the government when the government is reported to saying stop, or the media needs to move away from reporting on Hunter Biden, and instead they need to start attacking Trump, you're no longer a free press. You are a government-owned press. Therefore, you're not protected by the freedom of press article of the Constitutional Amendment, or of Constitutional Amendment number 1. Now, you still have free speech, don't get me wrong. However, Here's the thing. I wouldn't allow you in my White House. Not unless you are willing to forsake allegiance to the government and instead pledge allegiance to the people of which our flag represents. Because our government is supposed to be for the people, of the people, by the people.
Mhm.
And that is why this video that I shared earlier is so important, folks. It's because this sort of lie or this deception has to be challenged. It has to run, or it has to be forced to run its course.
Yeah, but
Because otherwise we're lost.
But again, there's no pain point yet, and it's not 10 years, not 20 years. It's over 100 years. It's been going on for 100 years. There's been so many lies, so many things. World War I started because of this crap. It's going to do it again for 3. It's all the same thing. It's a power play. It's just basically it's the oligarchs are in a chessboard and they're just playing around. They're doing it in Gaza, they're doing it in Israel, they're doing it in Ukraine, they're doing it down in Guyana, in Venezuela.
And that's why
they're doing it here.
Like Trump.
Well, again, it's not about Trump. I'm not going to put my fate into one person. That's the whole thing. We have to.
I'm not going to put it into one person either. I mean,
because again, Trump is just basically what Trump did. He was a Democrat, basically. Because again, he that's how he was. He just was somebody. He was a man of the people.
Whoops.
Sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing. Keep going.
No,
Right,
I was trying to add Bruce's thing to the stage.
But he was is who he is. It's not about Trump. It's about you, me, everybody. God, it's like that movie. But it's true. It's all about. Hold on.
Wrong one.
Wait a minute. That wasn't wrong. That wasn't a wrong video. It was a nice video.
Whoops.
I'm sorry.
Gave me
I
hope.
think we downloaded the wrong video.
Gave me hope for the future. God, oh no! Don't put the
Trying to
Twitter
raise
video
the
of the
count of our
sex thing.
friends.
Don't even.
was trying
God
to
forbid.
put-
Watch what you're doing.
Yeah, I
No,
was
but
trying
that's-
to put up his thing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but the thing is that's the whole thing. And again, it's going to the whole idea that people need to wake up. I know it's tough right now, but at the beginning of the year, I had the vision of basically letting go. So I'm letting go everything. I don't have anything else. I'm actually clearing through, and I'm going to be selling the last of my things because again, for me, there is no. I have my instrument. And I'm going to sell it because I need money because I have nothing left. But the point being here is I don't care anymore because I'm not enjoying life because there's nothing to enjoy. What's the point of, again, I wear the hat because I want to be festive and have hope for a possible future, but we can't deal with the problem that has been going on for a long time. 1850s, the Fabian socialists, like I was saying, 1890. The whole idea that you had to do, like I said, it was DuPont's. You had all these people, the big corporations that started off. Now you have the big media, big tech, big pharma, big government are all doing it. It's a public-private partnership. They're working together all the time. You see that. And again, when Trump went in, Trump was basically the way he said, he was a Democrat, and he said, you know what? I'm gonna go run as a Republican, and then he did that. And I didn't vote for him because I didn't know. I thought it was, oh my God, it's gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be the same thing. I said, no, I'm not doing this shit. So, but then I saw what he did. I went, okay, he's actually doing what he said he did. But again, the people that he picked, he basically picked people that he thought were on the good side. But you realize that they're not, and they're on their side. It's them. The quote unquote elite, the elected, the how does someone go into office like Nikki Haley or whatever and go in and have nothing and then come out and have millions of dollars?
Well,
instantaneous.
What's her name? What's her name again? OC or OAC?
AOC.
Yeah,
she went in with, remember, she was crying, I don't have any money. I can't pay my bills.
But
and
that's
now she's like worth 14 million.
But that's the whole
So,
point. And
there
that
you
goes
go.
back to no, but like this goes to the graver issue. The
Mhm.
idea that that's why they pay movie stars millions of dollars. That's why they
Mhm.
pay sports millions of dollars. That's why they pay actors. That's why these politicians get these book deals. They are the influencers. It's been going on forever. So then all you're doing is waking up in the morning, and it happens where people ask me when I was here in Chicago when I first moved here. And it's always that whole thing. Are you Cubs or are you Sox? I said, I'm neither. I don't give a shit. I grew up in Texas. In Texas, if you had to pick a football team, so I picked the Washington Redskins to piss everybody off because I hated those fucking football. I hated and my dad got a Redskins jacket, and I don't know where it is now. I think my sister threw it away because she's a fucking communist. So. But the point being here is it's been going on a lot longer. They are basically paying these people, and this is what's happening in China. In China, they have this social credit score. They've had it for a long time. We're having it here. So that's why when you idolize, like even back in the 50s, idolize Mickey Mantle, idolize Joe DiMaggio, idolize Marilyn Monroe. It's been going on forever. And to top it off, the political system has been corrupted by these people because, again, we have let it go because our system changed. We are no longer specialists in anything. I am a specialist in everything. I do everything, and that's what when I work with clients, I don't work I never did a 9 to 5. I mean, sorry, 9 to 5 or W-2. I'm my own independent contractor. I do that. And that's what I do because I don't want to be a wage slave. I do what I want to do. I don't come into the office. I'm not coming in because there's no point to. But again, the point I'm saying is that you started off where we're at the point now. Like if you ask a kid now to drive a car, they have an app for that. They want to have food. They can have an app for that. Or even taking that back. When they're hungry, well, let's go get some food at the restaurant, or let's go to McDonald's. Let's do this. No one knows how to cook. No one knows how to think for themselves because they basically Google everything, but now they're doing the Chat GPT crap, and they're just basically believing this. And again, the whole global warming bullshit, the whole vaccine bullshit, the whole like American democracy bullshit. The whole everything is just based upon that. There are people now that don't believe we went to the moon, that believe that we're flat Earth, and it's being more prevalent, and they believe in all this crap. And but here's what's so scary. I used to be on Facebook a lot. I basically am now deleting Facebook, deleting Instagram, I'm going through it. I'm ripping myself slowly away because I utilize these tools because I'm in technology and I love the technology. The technology now has gone completely off the rails. They are now selling computers, or the Windows is now coming out with AI everything. They're having you an AI assistant. No, don't do that. And that's even more so now. Everything. But here's what's so sad. Everything that I've predicted has coming true. And that is why I started using Linux back in 1995. I had to use Windows, and if I have a laptop, it came with Windows on it. But I said no. Now the laptops I own don't come with Windows. They don't have any operating. I don't want Windows. I don't use Microsoft anymore. But again, I still had some accounts there, but I've slowly weaned myself away, and I've now fully integrated my security phone. This is not an Android phone. It's a security phone. And I use this as my daily driver now. And it doesn't use anything like that. Because again, here's the thing. Because again, AWS, Amazon, they run everything. They collect all this data. Google collects all the data. Microsoft collects all the data. Every time you log into Facebook and do an Instagram post, not Twitter. Well, Twitter used to be. They're all in collusion. They shut down Parler. They're shutting down, or they're basically pushing you toward what you want. And again, it still happens on Twitter a little bit, and then on Facebook and stuff like that, where you basically are fed things based on the algorithm. Those algorithms are locked down. They're not open source. They're locked down. I've done research already. And that's why I am going to start, I'm starting my business and refocusing it to be anti-DEI, anti all this stuff, anti-AI. Data science is so important here because, again, it's the idea that in the 1910s, when they basically said, well, let's break up all these corporations. And when they break up, they take that information and it's spread out, but it's spread out like a cancer. Because remember, AT&T was broken up, and now you have all these different things, the entities, but AT&T is still, they have it. They AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, they collect all the data. Every push notification you have, the government gets a copy of it. They know what you're doing online every single time. Even with Google, I mean, even with YouTube, what I do now is I basically have it set up, and then you have to go in that. And I do want to make a tutorial about this, how to de-Google your life and remove it. Because again, you look at it, they know if you get the email, say where your timeline is, they know where you go, who you see, who you interact with, and you're giving that data for free because YouTube's free.
But isn't Elon suing a couple people or a couple organizations or something?
Media Matters.
Media Matters. Okay, for lying about him. I don't know enough about that, but I remember he was suing these companies.
And guess what happened?
Does anybody know why?
Because Media Matters is working with the New World Order governments to basically spread this misinformation, real lies, and to dox people. They're doing it. They're going after people. And the one thing that happened recently, I think it was yesterday, Elon Musk and the Starlink, he was going to get some subsidies, and the FCC blocked it. $858 billion of subsidies that he was going to get because they're using Starlink and all these different things. They were going to pay him. Now they cut that off because, again, he went against the narrative. And the one, it was like I think it was 3-2. The vote to do this, and the 2 dissenting votes, they basically said, yeah, they're basically doing this because what he's doing now with Twitter, and they are basically calling Elon Musk, a fascist and this and that. He's bad for freedom and all this stuff, which is the exact opposite. It's being gaslit.
Do you think that he'll win? Do you think he has a chance to win?
Oh, he'll win.
With the corruption of the courts and everything, you really do think he has a chance to actually come through?
Well, that's the whole idea. That's why we have to keep supporting this aspect, and then basically, work diligently. Because again, the time of talking is done.
So
it's time for action. It's time for action. I'm doing it.
It's like you said, though. Everyone is like addicted to their phones and to their computers, their smart TVs. I mean, during the pandemic, I just remember everyone I knew. I still shopped. I still went to the grocery store, but I would see more and more and more employees with those little baskets going around grocery shopping for people. And then you go out to take your stuff to the car, and people are waiting in line to have the store put stuff in their car.
Yeah,
and they still do it because now they're spoiled to it. They don't have to do any shopping.
Exactly. There's places right now that are requiring people to show your ID, show your face when you go in to basically, because again, here's the idea. The idea is remove the police, by going back to referencing your video, remove the sheriff.
Yeah.
Remove the sheriff, remove the law, because it's unjust. Because in the scenario, if they basically play that video now, well, that one guy they were chasing down was black, so now we have to get rid of and we have to get rid of the sheriff, because it was all the sheriffs that were going after him and not the people. So now basically the people are no better than the sheriff, and they perverted it. And then what happens is now we have Walgreens is faking bankruptcy. Target's going under. Walmart's going under because
did Fred's go out of business too?
I believe so.
Yeah, I thought they were
Or about to. But again, it's planned. Somebody out there is making money. When you say Disney lost $800 billion or whatever, sorry, $800 million, not $1 billion.
Yeah.
Where did that money go? It went somewhere. So
Well,
again, somebody made money.
We have Americans going belly up every day, losing their homes. They can't afford to buy food. They can't afford to pay their bills. They can't afford, they're losing their jobs. And we got a president that's giving $600 million more dollars to Ukraine for a war that we shouldn't even be involved in.
But again,
right?
it's not.
And we're being swamped at the border. We've got so many illegals coming in, taking over our schools, taking over our towns. We're shelling money out left and right. We're kissing their ass every day.
But Janet, you're racist for saying that.
In the street.
You're being racist.
I know. I'm a terrible racist.
But again, that's the whole cycle. Why would you want to have people who want to live free from not coming here and helping them? Why would you be so racist for thinking those things? No. Well, then open up your freaking house for them then, dummy. You know, and they don't do that. Oh, no. Well, they're doing it. That's people residents in Chicago are now complaining that they're having tent cities. And then they basically say, okay, we got to cover it up. So remember with what happened on election night in 2020, they put the boards up. Now in Chicago, they're putting boards up around the tent cities so that you don't see. They did the same thing. The same press who's so fair and equitable and honest. When Obama was caging the kids inside those things, they said nothing about it. And as soon as Trump took over, they were posting kids in cages, this and that. Obama was already doing it.
Yeah, but we just saw when China,
take a picture?
Right? When the president of China
from that video I shared.
Yeah.
How many?
It's suppressed.
Yeah, definitely. That video. The video.
I had to retweet, or I just retweeted it, and it's like one person liked it. Leslie Tarkin.
Well, I will like it definitely as soon as I'm not doing this.
But it's like, holy crap!
But
man.
again, that's the whole idea.
Look what happened in California. The president of China.
Yes.
Going to show up, and they cleaned the streets up. They had Chinese flags everywhere. And what they do with all the homeless and all the needles in the street and all the poop and the pee and all that stuff? They got it cleaned up really quick when they wanted to look a certain way because they had somebody big.
Well,
coming
they had their god emperor coming over, and I'm pretty sure that Gavin Newsom was on his knees inside the limo.
Yeah, but the
in front of President Xi during the whole ride.
2 weeks, they cleaned that up. And we have been trying to clean up our streets in every city for 70 years or whatever. And they just say, we need more money. We need more money. We need more money. That's all they ever do. But they don't ever finish fixing anything.
No.
But they did it like that when it was Gavin Newsom that wanted it. See?
Yeah, but you know who sucks the Chinese dick more than Gavin Newsom? Trudeau. You know what Trudeau went, and again, there's a video of this. Got to find it. That's funny. Where Trudeau asks Xi Jinping, or I think, what does he say? Oh, I want you to name my child. What name should I give him? And the kid, and he said, no, it's okay. I don't want to do that. So he's basically on the knees. Please name my kid. I want to do after you. That's so sick.
It is. It's.
But again, what's going to happen in
world for real?
Oh God, clown world. My God. Again, everything is upside down, and then because again, we don't even how would you say it? Like the video that came out with the Biden Christmas clown show. I did not know this until after because I reposted. I changed the audio of it and put down the clown music, but what I didn't even know is, or now I know that the dance troupe that they hired are all, trannies and stuff like that and BLM bullshit, but they are all Antifa based and they are basically against, they come out as pro this, pro that, and all anti-American government, anti-American basically. And they let them, this troupe dance in, craziness in the White House. It's insane. But the thing is that, but the thing is that this is why it's so important to, I know it now, but I got to find a home first. That's why whenever I find a location to move to, I need to find a place, and I want to basically be part of the community. I want to help the school, help the people, and do that. I'm not going to be on the board. I'm going to actually do shit. I'm going to do something, different. So that's what I want to do. So yeah, but again, we have to. It's again, clean up take care of yourself. Number one, like I'm doing. Today's an all-time low today too. Thank God. I cracked. I'm in the 330s now, so I've already lost like 230 pounds. I'm done going down. So, but again, it's the Biden diet because I'm not eating anything. Anyway.
Well,
he's having a traditional Chinese diet.
Yeah, I'm not taking the Ozempic crap out there. That's because that is now that's a next thing out there. That's gonna you're gonna have like so many people that are gonna go boop by from taking drugs that are again. It's I cannot believe. Well, I can believe it now how bad the commercialism of everything is. It's insane. Even Santa Claus is commercialism when you think about it. It was created by Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bruce, did you have a story that you were ready to talk about?
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking about it here and there.
Do you have a link or anything that you want me to post?
I'll share. I'll share it.
Because I tried to post one earlier, thinking it was it, and it was the other one from before.
Whoop, not that one.
So make sure I click on the right one.
Hey, go ahead and share me.
Share this one.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm sharing my screen.
Mm-hmm.
We had there's a couple small things we got here. This is the same story. The 2 pages I'll show. It's from Des Moines, Iowa. A Mississippi man's been charged with criminal mischief for allegedly vandalizing Satanic Temple of Iowa's Bahamut display in the Capitol building on Thursday. The Iowa Department of Public Safety says 35-year-old Michael Cassidy was charged with 4th-degree criminal mischief and has since been released. Jessica Cornish-Tilstra says, I would never do that to somebody else's property. I don't think it's right that other people, based on their beliefs, think that they can do that just because they don't like it.
Mm-hmm. She
drove 3.5 hours with her daughter, in part to see the display of a satanic altar.
That is amazing.
She feels the display is a form of inclusion, especially during this time of year when there's more than one holiday. So the Satanic Temple of Iowa set up a display ram's head covered with mirrors on mannequin cloaked in red clothing as a symbol of their miserable right to quote-unquote religious freedom, according to co-founder Lucian Greaves. So they were going to take it down Friday morning. They posted the message to the group Facebook on Thursday. This morning, we were informed by authorities that the Bahamut statue in our holiday display was destroyed beyond repair, and we're proud to continue our holiday display for the next few days that we've been allotted. So that is from KCCI. This is the display that they were talking about. Red robed, goat head, piece of shit. I'm not gonna try to tell you I don't have a bias. I don't like it. Don't really favor that sort of thing.
Yeah, I talked about this in a space a couple of times when I first saw that in there, because in Arkansas, the Satanist church erected a monument, like a marble statue in front of the Capitol in Arkansas, and there was a huge uproar over it. That people were throwing tantrums over it, and I just told everybody, well, the best thing to do is either, if you guys are all whining and complaining that you don't want it there, and that means you'd have to take yours down too. The 10 Commandments would have to come down. Mm-hmm. So the best thing for you to do is to get the other religions and have them all put up their statues too, because that way it's fair for everyone. Because if you can put yours up there and you don't want others to do it, what's the difference between them saying we're putting ours up and you can't have yours?
Correct.
See, I try to explain that to people all the time, but people don't want to see it that way. Just like what you were talking about earlier, Ruben, about how people want to be controlled, basically. They either want total control or no one to have anything. Just like what they always say, you're going to have nothing and be happy.
Yeah,
right?
this would be religious control, which is something I don't want either. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying if they put it up there, let them put it up there. It's the whole idea. Taking down statues, it'll just keep people in the. If you do this, it keeps people in the shadows. Then they'll have their underground network. Let them come out. That's what we have to do. You have to have that open opinion. You have to put it out there. Let them know. Let them know who they are. And again,
that's what I'm trying to tell people too. Is they're you see people all the time burning the American flag in America. Okay, which is your right to do that in your freedom of speech if you want to burn the flag. But when you see someone burning Palestinian flag, you get put in jail. Things like that is where we have to start fighting back, saying if they can burn our flag and walk all over it, we should be able to burn theirs.
Exactly.
Not to do it just out of spite, but to prove the point that if you're going to do this, you got to be able to do that. It's got to be fair across the board, whether it comes to religion or another country or your point of view on this, that, or the other. We have to make it fair. If you don't want to hear it, you have the right to speak, but you don't have the right to force people to listen to you.
Correct.
Right? So just like we're on here, we're talking, and the people can either listen to us or they can change the channel. I mean, that is fair for everyone. And that is how our country was founded. At least that's what I feel. My point of view is that's how our forefathers wanted us to live our lives, to have the right to worship that God or worship that God without the government saying you can't, you see, because that's what they left. That's what they wanted to get away from, was being ordered around, not to be able to own property, not being able to have the job that they want to have, or go to school, or have a school in their town that wasn't controlled by the government, things like that. And I would love to see us get back to being able to do that again one day, hopefully, if we all
I miss
fight
the
for
90s. The 90s was peak US in my lifetime.
Well, I think all of us in our lifetime, even our great grandparents, had a time when you'd sit down with them. I miss the good old days of certain things.
Well,
so there's certain areas in everyone's life, I think, that we feel like that.
Looking back, how corrupt the 90s were too. You had a CIA plant in the White House with Bush Sr., and then basically the whole no new taxes, and then that whole thing broke down, and then you had the war, which was again another bullshit thing that's going on, because again their plant, Saddam Hussein, who was also a CIA operative. Again, we set these governments up. We do these things, and then we basically clean up our mess. It's the whole. It's stupid. And then again, we go to war again and all that stuff. And then no, done. And it goes back. It's like Vietnam was all fake too. It was all set up. In the Korean War was all because of the UN, and the UN's doing it now. And then they're just fighting and fighting and fighting, and the war machine kicks on. And that's exactly what I'm seeing it now. I'm reading articles and doing investigation. Yeah, all of the defense contractors are going to be like they're just getting ready to make money. It's sick, and then it's off of us.
Yeah,
but
Well, Bruce, is there anything else you want to say about this article?
This article here, I don't really have a whole lot to say on it. This guy, Mike Cassie, is a strong Christian and vet. He decapitated the Bahamut statue and tossed the head in a trash can. Which I
didn't know that.
I gotta agree with. I like that. I really do. I have no love for that statue. I thought that statue was garbage. Whenever
Windows, you fool. Just kidding.
Okay, here was something we talked about a little bit earlier. LBJ did indeed say this. He was that type of guy. LBJ was that type of guy. He fired from the hip.
Well, he was the leader of the Senate before he became before he was picked as vice president.
Yeah.
And going on. So then he did not allow a vote to free give the black people votes or right more rights. The 65 65, yeah, the 65 voting acts. He wouldn't do it. Then as soon as he became president, then he did it because and then he says what he says.
Yeah. This is what I wanted. Thank you for putting up with me flipping through my tabs.
Oh yeah.
Senate staffer
is
caught filming amateur gay pornography in hearing room as graphic video emerges. This came off of Twitter.
Okay, don't move anymore. Don't do it. Don't show it.
Staffer filmed
Yeah, you can't show it.
Why did he choose that room to do it? Was it just because it was so forbidden, or
yeah,
he was just horny? So
psychologically speaking, that is the greatest turn on when you do something that is as close to forbidden as possible.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. So this happened.
What, you've done this before?
No, I've never fucked anybody in the Senate, but I mean, I did put a young thing up against the window of a hotel once. It was an embassy suite. And
Oh, dude, seriously, stop right there, man.
No. What about in your office?
Were they legal?
In a conference room?
Yeah, she was like 30, 35.
Okay, young thing, because you're saying
young thing
like,
compared
whoa,
to him.
man.
Like,
holy
shit.
40s. She looked so young. She looked like she was like 28. She was like 35, actually. It was great.
Holy shit.
It was wonderful.
Just thanks for the clarification.
So
man,
then she was like this, right?
She
was like this.
She's like maybe your age, dude. Maybe your age right now.
No, I'm saying getting things hit in her head.
39 or 38.
Oh yeah, he's
39.
talking about playing with balls. Ruben is, I think.
She was a she. She had a definite clam. There was no unusual scarring.
But you had her against a glass while you were looking down.
No,
the scariness
we were both. I was inside, pushing her into the glass, boobs out. And,
I know you were inside her.
No, I mean, were you looking out the window to see?
It's the voyeurism fetish.
It's
the voyeurism fetish.
It was like 3 minutes, maybe 4.
Or was it on ground level?
38 seconds.
No. We were like on the 7th or 8th level.
Oh, that's scary. See,
yeah, that's a hotel room. Jesus, that's not.
I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us have a hot and heavy story that we could all tell. But damn, dude,
what?
That's a pretty good one. I'll give you that. Pretty good one.
It's hotel room. What about?
Would have been funny if somebody caught you,
but
room,
that's better. Or
I did get asked one time if I wanted to do the Mile High Club, but I said no. I was too embarrassed that someone might hear me in the bathroom, so I said no.
Loud one, are you?
Yes.
Oh, confirmed. Loud confirmed.
Oh, right.
So anyway, this happened, and this happened in the Hart Senate office building. And so the staffer is seen in a separate picture naked on all fours where the senators often sit and ask questions during hearings.
That's terrible.
No.
We can't. Daily Mail, okay? The UK press is so much better than US bullshit. A frisky congressional staffer has been accused of filming an amateur gay porn video inside a Senate hearing room. They had
accused?
I know, right? They had sex with an unknown man within the confines of the politically significant building, according to the Daily Caller. It obtained by the outlet shows a staffer allegedly engaging in sex acts within what appears to be a conference room in Hart Senate office building. The staffer is seen in a separate picture naked and on all fours on a table where senators often sit and ask questions during hearings. This is why you stand wherever you go.
Holy shit, man.
Oh, this is great. So anyway, here's the Gateway Pundit. Sick Democrat Senate staffer is caught having graphic sex with older bear partner in Capitol office building. Graphic video.
Bear partner. Oh, one of them was nude and the other one was clothed, I guess. Is that what that was?
Bear, I'm guessing he's kind of like a heavier set person.
Heavier dude with hair.
Oh.
Basically, he'd have to lift his gut up to see it.
I thought maybe you meant he was dressed like a bear. like a
No,
furry.
That,
You know,
oh my
that'd be
God,
hilarious.
that's even worse. No, it's
That
not
would
worse.
be
You
hilarious.
want to know what's hilarious?
And it would be on brand for the Democrat Party. I tell you what.
You want to know what's
Okay,
freaking
this
hilarious?
this part of the show, just to remind you, is the shit show, and
Yes.
that's why we're and this
you
is
never
exactly
know what
why.
could happen.
When
No,
I
no, but
It's
turn
gonna hit the
on
fan.
Ruben, when Janet cues my mic, it's live and it might be canceled later. That's the only guarantee she gives me.
I mean, you guys heard about that thing? I think it was in Florida where this guy gets sued for sexual harassment for exposing himself, yet he was too fat to see anything or for people to see anything, so he got away with it.
That reminds me of an old Married
So he
with
didn't
Children
lift up
episode.
his flaps.
He had, or they're like, or it's like,
Oh, my
sir, we
God.
can't see anything even if he takes anything off. It's like, I don't know if that's a bigger, or I don't know.
Is it Norbert?
If the guy got away with it, is that an insult to him or is that an insult to the women that he was exposed to? Because if they said he's too fat for anybody to see anything, that also kind of says he's too
whatever
small
else
too.
that they saw.
It's like, what did you see? I mean, were you offended by his belly button? Because apparently he's too fat that you wouldn't have seen anything.
Yeah, but I mean, a bare butt's a bare butt, right?
Sure.
Isn't that like still nudity in public? A butt? So,
Yeah, but oh my gosh, speaking of nudity and stuff, you guys heard about, or I told you what happened at Twitch, but we should let everybody else know. I'm pretty sure everybody else knows. Twitch allowed, or for one day, had the biggest brain fart ever, folks, because they're
artistic nudes, right?
They were doing artistic nudes and topless streams and whatnot. And
people were doing live streams and doing stuff. Is that what you're saying?
They were topless and bouncing their boobs and stuff on live streams. Yeah, on Twitch. And so,
so it was all
complained.
Women. It was all women.
These were women. These were women.
Yeah, it's all boobs.
And so
all
people
planet.
complained. And instead of saying, this isn't allowed, Twitch changed their policy to allow it. Then they had a massive exodus from Twitch. People were leaving. I killed my Twitch account. I was one of them. And they're like, well, why are you leaving? I cannot in good faith allow myself to continue association with a website that allows pornography when they also allow teenage or young teenage children to stream on this platform. So no, I'm not allowed, or I will be destroying my Twitch account. I will not be activating it in the future. Well, I did a whole video, folks. You will not see this on my YouTube. I had finished recording a video, getting the thumbnail, all of that ready to upload. And then I see that Twitch had pulled or had walked back that policy change. They're like, we're no longer allowing this. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, you actually freaking just made my entire video redundant before I could post it. So now when I do my weekly recap on Sunday night, I'm going to be able to do the whole freaking story, which is they had it going for a couple days, but now they walked it back. And I will also freaking debase myself a little bit saying I had a whole video ready to go, but then they fucking actually did something good, which was walk it back.
Well, you can still use the video.
Because you made
I can't because the video didn't have the walk back.
I was going to say, because you made this video to show that your stance against pornography,
I'll indeed
being able to see it. That's why they took it back, because they were afraid of the backlash. Basically, that's what you.
I mean, I do.
If you want pornography, you can go for it.
I basically, or like I said, during my weekly recap on Sunday, and by the way, it's an open invite to anybody who wants to discuss the topics that I'm going to be raising. Just let me know ahead of time so I can send you a link ahead of time. But,
Send me a link. I'm always very low.
So, Bruce, are you finished with this
And
article?
Not yet. I
Okay.
wanted to read
Oh, we
about
want
this.
more. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
Yes,
more.
this
But,
is
yeah.
the story that keeps on giving. So they had this happen explode today.
We're
A
coming.
male staffer for Maryland Senator Ben Cardin engaged in multiple graphic sex acts with his older boyfriend in the Hart Senate office building. They accessed the man's X account to obtain the footage. Yes, he was showcasing X-rated pornography for the entire world to witness. And so here's the report off of
send that shit to
Spectator,
Palestine.
aptly named.
Oh
The
my
so-called
gosh.
hallowed halls of Congress play host to a plethora of indecent acts every day, but for one staffer for Senator Ben Cardin, it's taken it to new levels. The public Twitter account of the audacious young twink is comprised of almost solely of him in flagrante delicto with his older bear partner. The images and videos are explicit and conspicuously and deliberately contain the staffer's face. And one pic in particular, shared privately with Cockburn, raised his eyebrow as it was taken in what certainly appears to be a conference room in the Hart Senate office building where his boss's office is located.
Oh my
So
God.
they were getting they got the explicit video footage showing the two men having graphic sex. It's while this is going on, he stares at the camera on the table where senators interrogate witnesses during a hearing. And this confirmed the caller. The room is the Senate room, Hart 216. This is known as the Judiciary Room, or what they call the Juicy Room.
Oh my God.
And here's the photos of the public sex obtained by the caller. So anyway,
Yeah, you
this-
can't see anything.
yeah, this
My
is it.
God.
Your tax dollars have paid for his disgraceful actions.
And you know
Okay.
what?
Yeah.
Their tax dollars are going to have to pay to have the whole room, clean.
Fumigated.
Yeah, they're gonna
Fumigate that whole freaking building, man.
As-
Fumigate it.
What was the name of that? Is it Serve Pro? As like it never happened.
Freaking
Pro's
steam
amazing.
vac it. Do all
Yeah,
Oh
of
my
that.
God.
Just
I feel bad for those guys coming in there.
bleach
going,
that
"Ah!"
entire building.
It's
man.
like a biohazard.
So-
I mean, I'm pretty that it reminds me of the Guardians of the Galaxy clip from Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Yeah, this place had a black light. It looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. Shine
Oh
a black
my
light in that place,
Oh,
then.
You don't ever take a black light in any hotel room. Never do
Never.
it. You will be sorry. You won't be able to sleep at all at night.
If you do that, you'll go blind.
You know this from
Yeah,
experience,
it's,
Janet.
Yes, I saw
Oh.
this on a documentary that they had a black light and they went in there and did that. So I took one of those little ones with
Yeah.
me, and after I couldn't sleep.
Oh my
And I
god.
couldn't believe there was stuff on the walls, on the floor. It was everywhere. It was in the bathroom, even though it looked clean. It was.
Well, yeah, that's because they can't get rid of
Never take a black
biological.
light with you on to a hotel
Janet,
room.
Janet, they only pay me and Marisol only $8 an hour with a free complimentary corn dog from the
Oh, wow.
commissary at the hotel
Oh,
gift
Lord.
shop. So we are not going to put forth too much effort on this. We are sorry for your discomfort. Maybe you'll buy an Airbnb next time you're in the area. Thank you very
What Janet
much.
doesn't tell you is that when you have the blue light, you're going, okay,
Jeez,
where is it?
fuck,
You're looking down. Where's the blue light? The blue light going, oh, where I don't see anything. Then you go up. Oh my God, it's on the roof. It's on the
Yes,
ceiling.
it was on. There was stuff on the ceiling too. The thing is
What?
that it was.
Yes,
Yeah, it
yes.
was like they fling it around the room or something. It was.
They had stunt come.
It was disgusting.
Let's just say that somebody really held it in as long as they could.
And again,
Apparently.
I do have. Never mind.
Apparently
Okay,
they did.
So,
I have range. What?
well, I just wanted to share that with you. My wife just
I
got
didn't
home.
need to know that, Ruben.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna turn my
The
camera and mic off for a few minutes. I got to say hi to my wife. She just got here. So
Okay,
I'll be
well,
back.
I'm going to.
Okay, say hi to your
open
wife
up-
and no more hotel
I
shit.
have something I want to
But
share.
I'm married now. I can't do that. We have to do that together.
Exactly.
I have something I want to share with you guys right here. Look at this. Sound of Freedom Studio claims new faces Hollywood boycott. So basically, Angel Studios has released a summer hit, The Sound of Freedom, that group. that made that movie. They're basically they've claimed that their new movie, The Shift, is facing a boycott from Hollywood because of the success of the other one. I think they're jealous.
Yep.
What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing is that, and you do everyone a favor and go and see the film in its infancy, because it basically helps the Angel Studios. They have a short of this film, and that's basically how we come back and fight this company they basically created a short, and it's about 25 minutes film. It's just one part of the movie. It's totally different actors and all that stuff. And it's a concept that they put out there because they were trying to crowdfund the movie, which they did. And now the movie's here. It's a much more complex story. But the point being here is that Angel Studios is the one that put their own money on the line to get Sound of Freedom from Disney, who had the film made, or the They had it. The film was made, and then they bought it. They bought it from Fox, I believe, and then they shelved it. They shelved a real life story. Rick was Tim Ballard, who had it. It was back in 2018, I think it was. They had an expose on 60 Minutes and how brave you are. You got there, and it was a whole story that's out there in 60 Minutes just a few years ago about how good it was, and then. You had CNN just a couple months ago say it's a right-wing conspiracy. It's nuts. The same lady that was the black, resting bitch face person, the same one that Vivek smoked on that freaking town hall that he was had.
Nikki Haley, yeah.
No. The CNN person.
That
interviewed.
One.
Yeah, and she did the same thing. This is what the Sound of Freedom is just an all right. This is spreading conspiracy theories about child trafficking. It's not a conspiracy. It's a real life story. But again, goes back to the whole idea that they are basically trying to rewrite history on everything.
Yeah, and here's the other movie. This is the movie that Bruce and I watched last week and did a review on, because one of our subscribers bought us the Daily Wire.
Nice.
And we decided we're going to start going through and see if there's different things on there that we can do. But it says the anti-woke sports film became major streaming hit after mocking male basketballers in a women's game. So that's great. It says the film, taking a tongue-in-cheek dig at the ongoing trans sports debate, has emerged as a streaming success with viewers. So I'm really happy with it. It says that it currently has a 91% audience score from over 5,000 reviews on the site.
Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes. The audience score places it higher than a number of major new releases currently available on streaming, including Amazon's Prime's Candy Cane Lane, featuring Eddie Murphy. So basically... I laughed my butt off. I thought it was really, really funny. It was very entertaining. It was definitely worth watching. So I wish everybody would watch it, because every single person that I talk to, just regular people, are sick and tired of all this crap. Right. The transgender movement and all this stuff, and forcing it down our throats. And it was nice to see somebody make fun of it, all of it. And they made fun of Bud Light. They made fun of a whole bunch, slutty hoe streamers, that will tell you they want to, bone you or whatever, and take you in the back room and use you for 5 minutes, but they never sleep with you. They just drag you along, because they want to be famous. The Dylan Mulvaney guy.
That guy.
And all that stuff with Bud Light. Well, they had a character on the team, the short, tiny one with the beard. Yeah. And he basically was like, he acted like, to me, that's what he reminded me of. He's sitting on a bed, like making a commercial.
365,
doing his selfie stuff. It was, oh my God, it was so funny. So if you get the chance and get a group of people with you and sit down and watch Lady Ballers, I'm telling you, it's so worth it. You'll be so refreshed on having some actual new entertainment with a totally different point of view, because it was so funny. I just loved it. I can't wait to watch it again with some people that haven't seen it, because it was good. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought that was great. Let's see. Oh, and this is another one. This is one of the other ones that I wanted to show that kind of ticked me off a little bit, but I want you guys to see this. This is so much, because it just pisses me off.
That's what she said.
There you go. Juries are sending a clear message to right-wing conspiracy peddlers. Pay up. Because they just, like I said, he has to pay 2 election workers from Georgia like over $140 million. So let's think about it. Let's think about this.
Stupid.
Doesn't that make
Again,
you just so happy?
Again, this is all about basically pushing the narrative and the message that nothing happened in 2020.
Karma's coming for these people.
But so funny. 2016 was a Russia interference, and 2020 was the most secure election ever. That makes no freaking sense. It's just dumb. And we know that they stole the election. I know they did, and it's clear that they're trying to do it again in 2024. And I'm not doing this anymore. And I'm not going to go on any space or tweet about anything. I'm just going to do.
We know they're going to do it again. Because
who's
gone to jail for any of the stuff that happened last time with all the proof that we've seen? I mean, I worked the polls in 2 different states, okay, in Louisiana and in Arkansas. And I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like what I saw in a lot of these videos, showing up at 2:00 in the morning, unloading boxes and boxes of stuff with nobody to sign in or out. And the people just wandering around counting ballots, putting the same ballots in the machines over and over again. All that is illegal.
Yep.
If somebody had came in there and our 5 people were sitting at our little table, checking IDs, looking through the books to make sure they were a registered voter and that their signatures matched, right?
They broke the law. Pennsylvania broke the law. Georgia broke the law. But then
if they had come in and said, "Oh, one of the toilet urinals down the hall is leaking, so we're going to have to make everyone evacuate," I would have said, okay. And I would have picked up whatever stuff was in front of us. And I would have told everybody at the table, pick up your stuff. We're going out. And they would have said, what are you doing? We would say, well, we swore an oath at the beginning of this day that we weren't letting this out of our sight until we counted it and signed off. And the judge signed off after he took it from us.
Right.
So I wouldn't have left. They would have had to arrest me or something.
Yeah, but then again,
all the people that got up and left and let them do that, that's what I don't understand. How did they? Why?
But you have to remember something. Democrats play the long game. If you remember what happened in 2000, they still believe that Bush lost, and they made a vow then that we are going to take the Secretary of State's office in all states, and they have done that. We let that happen. That's what happened that's what happened in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened.
The place that they did all this and all the different polling places that I saw, video here, video there, different videos, there had to have been Democrats and Republicans and independents working the polls.
But you have to remember something.
They were all different. They were all different people, and they just got up and left.
But here's the thing.
I don't understand that.
But here's the thing that it happens in Illinois when I serve as a judge of election. Mm-hmm. They don't have enough people working the polls, so they basically will denote you as the Republican or Democrat. When I did it, there were 10 people. Mm-hmm. And it was 9-1. I was the only Republican that was, but they had 4 other people put on as Republican pollsters, and they were really Democrats. So that whole thing of you have to have it balanced, they're not balanced. If the state is blue, it will all be blue, and they divide it up. They don't have poll workers in every poll, because again, all you're doing here, all they can do is they have all these different precincts that go in, and they get all the information. So you basically have to take the word for each precinct they do it, and all they can do is just they can work it. And again, that's the whole thing. The ground game. The Democrats have the ground game. They love mail-in balloting. They love ballot harvesting. They love these things, and that's the whole idea. 2020, they basically said, "Oh, just vote for. We'll send you a ballot. You just mail it in." And they sent ballot, and it was documented. They sent ballots to people that they didn't even live there anymore, but they got a ballot. And then if someone just signs it and sends it in, it's a vote.
They were sending ballots to addresses that don't have a house or a dwelling on it. Okay,
Right.
Even Crowder, the right wing grifter, and I'm sorry if somebody get upset about that, but Crowder went around Clark County, I believe, in Nevada, on his show, and he was showing various locations and addresses where ballots were sent, and supposedly people had mailed them back.
It happened to him too.
And but instead of like a house, it was like a cleared lot with nothing, or one was like had a storm drain under a bridge, which I don't understand how that could be a dwelling, but apparently it was. It's that's just how that is. I mean, you have blue areas where fraud is endemic, and the only way that you could do it is to go in, clean out the servers, and start canvassing again, and using maybe like Google or Bing Maps to possibly map out what an actual house or what an actual
Don't you think they should do that every year?
Every fucking year. If I'm going to get taxed at this rate,
the voter rolls and clear it out, because people die all the time. People die, and that's one reason. That reason that people die is enough to have to do it. But people move. There's lots of reasons why the voter rolls would change. And if somebody left from this state and they moved to 12 states, away, right? And now they're registered to vote there. So now they're going to vote in 2 states. You see, that's illegal. So cleaning your voter rolls in every state should be a number one priority for anyone, whether you're a Democrat, independent, or Republican.
But what's going to happen is, again, we know the Democrats ballot harvest. But what's going to happen is the media, social media, and government are going to go after any Republican that wants to do ballot harvesting in the sense of going out there and getting people voting. They're going to follow them and say that they're going to steal the election. And they're going to basically do exposés on that aspect of it. And they're going to make it basically seem as though, yes, if Trump does win, it's because they broke the law. And they're going to they are going to do something they're going to have their own January 6th or whatever they're going to do with, again, in 2024, if he wins. It's going to happen. And they're going to it's good. And they are going to do basically, and again, remember, at that time, if Trump wins, which I hope he does, what they're going to do is that they're still in control.
We are having some Republicans are starting to ballot harvest. Scott Pressler has an app now. Let's see what it's called. Hold on, it's on my phone. Do you guys know who Scott Pressler is? You've heard of him, haven't you?
I've heard a little bit about him. That's about it. Or the mention of his name. That's about it.
Well, he's got an app. I'd have to go through my phone and find it. But the thing is he has an app now that you can sign up on, and it helps you find out who around you or whatever side you're on, basically. And you can find out and go, sign up to go door to door. You can sign up to help register people to vote. You can sign up to do all types of different things. But that's one of the things is they're doing ballot harvesting now. Mm-hmm. And so he's trying to organize all of that. And it's increasing the numbers in lots of states now due to the fact that people are working with Scott Pressler to get people registered to vote and to learn how to work the polls, all those different things. And to me, that's wonderful because the Democrats are really good at it. They're really good at organizing things. We aren't.
Yeah,
Why?
because
I
again,
don't
we're
know.
not. We're,
But
There's
if we
something.
can, isn't that a start? That's a start someplace. All of us have to start trying to learn new things, and understanding how things work is important. Because if you've never cooked a pie or made a stew or a roast or cooked a steak or any of these things, the only way you're going to learn how to do it is by doing it. So, you know what I mean?
True, but again, you have to learn. You have to again the whole idea that why are the Republicans where they are, or at least conservatives, I would say, because in the end, personally,
Here's
I just want to live life. I don't want power. I don't want anything. That's the whole thing. That we don't want control. We want freedom. So by having freedom means that we're not going to be organized. We'll be federated. Basically, like I'll help you, this and that. But it's not about we're together doing this. That's the whole idea. That's why MAGA, to me, make America great again, has no political meaning. It has no political meaning at all. It doesn't at all. It's like it frustrates me because again, the Democrats are all about the hive. It's a hive mind. They want, and then they're doing it now. Everything is about the narrative, the message. They're pushing to push it. And that's what I'm saying. You have to get up in the morning, make your own bed, and start doing things for yourself, and stop relying on technology, stop relying on government, stop relying on everything. I'm doing it too. I'm basically trying to find where I'm going to find my life, and I want to have it, do it fast. I want to basically know where my city is, where I'm going to live, and then start with my community, my city, and all that stuff. Work it out. I don't even want a home. I don't want a home. I don't want a home anymore right now. It's too. This times are crazy because I just saw a report. One of the journalists who exposed what's going on with January 6th is now has to turn himself in to be arrested. And it came on the Blaze. Sarah Gonzalez, and I tweeted about it. It's insane. They're basically now going after journalists for reporting what happened during January 6th. It's insane.
I know it's communism. But I shared Scott Pressler. The Scott Pressler I'm talking about is I shared his profile link in the chat. So if you have Twitter, you can go to his profile and check him out. No, I don't know if you'd call him an activist. I mean, he used to, when he first started out as a teenager, he would go and clean up a neighborhood. And then he would get the people in the neighborhood to help him clean up their own neighborhood, things like that. So now he's a huge thing in trying to help people register to vote, things like that, to change to help our country fight back, to take our country back. So I think he's great. I've been in many, many spaces with him talking about different things. I've signed up to do certain things with him. I signed up for the app. I think he's a great person that loves his country, and I'm sure his parents are really proud of him. That's all I can say. But his link is in the chat. I put it in there for you guys if you want to check it out. Is there anything else anybody wants to bring up?
I was just going to say, whenever you're dealing with these demonologists, these devil worshippers, these piece of shit Democrats, the only thing they're going to push on first, what they push on first is ridicule. And it's in their rules for radicals. It's the number 5 of the rules. Ridicule is man's most potent weapon. There's no defense against ridicule. It's almost impossible to counterattack ridicule. It infuriates the opposition, who then react and give you the advantage. So keep in mind, if you know what they're doing, paint it in the most ridiculous light that you can while being factual. Now, the thing is that I'm sharing the screen here. I've got the rules for radicals right in front of me from the Wikipedia page.
You want me to add it up?
What?
You want me to add it to the...
Yeah, add it right here.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
This is how the piece of shit devil worshiper Saul Alinsky, who should have gotten punched in the face and then his wrist broken more often, This is the shit he wrote for low income people, because that's basically all he could sell to is the have-nots and disenfranchised and victim Olympic cunts of America. And that's why he's a piece of shit. And anybody who fucking does this, who advocates for this, they're pieces of shit too. And I don't give a fuck about anybody.
Did you read his dedication? No, I was kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
read
know.
my dedication on his gravesite. Anyway, power rule number one.
No.
Power
His dedication. He dedicated the book.
Where's that at? He talks about is the love of Lucifer. Hold on here. Lest we forget the over-the-shoulder acknowledgement to the very first radical from all of our legends, mythology, and history, and who is to know where mythology leaves off and history begins, or which is which, the first known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did so effectively that he won his own kingdom was Lucifer. This is on the fourth flyleaf page, okay? After dedication to Alinsky's ugly wife, Irene, and quotes from Rabbi Hillel and Thomas Paine. He has a loving word to say for Lucifer, the morning star, the piece of shit that is the enemy of most all of our religions, unless you're a fucking Satanist and get the fuck out. Fuck you.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. I mean, if you wish to not believe it and acknowledge, that's okay. That's good for you. But this piece of shit that wrote this, the guy that wrote this had a faith, and from the standpoint that he wrote it, it has worked very effectively to be a termite to the foundation of our society. So you see this in action. You squash the people. You give them the fucking searchlights in the face, and you illuminate them. You show show everybody where the cockroaches are at.
Yeah. What do they do when the light hits them?
They run. They scatter. They try to ridicule you. They try to play victim Olympics.
Yep. Well, all you can do is stomp on them and try to get as many as you can. That's all you can do. And then maybe put out some bait, and they take it back and feed it to the rest of them. Gets rid of them. So yeah, you're right. I do believe that we can stop a lot of this, because I think we have in the past. But the thing is, today it's different and harder because so many people have other things to focus on. We have, just like I said, we have smart TVs, we have movies and music and stuff that draws you in to that realm that they don't want to come out. You know, your phone, you get on your phone, you're on there all day long, every day, you know, playing games. You go to a restaurant and people are sitting at tables all on their phones. You got 2-year-olds on a phone, playing with a phone, playing games. Nobody's talking to each other anymore. You know, they're walking down the street looking at their phones. They're on their phones driving down in their cars. So people are obsessed, and people have got to learn to separate. If every family would make a few hours every day where nobody's allowed to be on a phone, no phones at dinner, no phones at breakfast, no phones while they're doing their homework, you know, put rules down and start making their family have to, you know, interact. Like when I was a kid, I had 4 sisters. You know, we played Twister. We played Monopoly. We played Clue. My mom taught us how to play 42 dominoes. You know, we played games. We used to have fun.
Go back to Twister. I want to know more about that. Just kidding.
But the thing is, didn't you guys play games when you were kids?
I was the only child, so we had to pick like what game can we play with 3 or 2 people. So the deck of cards.
Shot guns at each other.
Right.
We shot guns at each other.
Well, I guess my mom made us play games because there were so many of us.
Yeah,
it would either make us play games or beat us.
Remember, South Texas. Wait, Bruce, did you grow up in South Texas or no?
Illinois.
Okay, shit. Well, here's how funny this was. Okay, growing up, basically, it never snowed in Laredo, but you had ice storms.
Mhm.
they periodically, like every few years, you'd
Every
have
3
one.
years, 4
I think there was like I think we had snowfall twice in my lifetime down there,
Mhm.
and snowstorms about 4 or 5 times, whatever. But here's what we did: ice storms. We would get the ice and make ice balls, not snowballs, ice balls, and throw them at each other.
Knock each other out.
But then it's not snow. You're throwing ice, so it's
Yeah.
basically it's
part
compacted
of the
ice. So
road.
if you hit somebody, you cut them. And we did
Yeah.
that because that's what we did. Because again, no one went home and said, "Mommy, Daddy hit me with this," or some kid hit me with a ice thing. You cut it. Then you know what you did? Don't you stuck your head out. You should have done it. Nowadays, it's crazy. Same thing with dogs. Growing up, if there was no leash laws and all this stuff, you had dog went out and whatever. And if a dog bit somebody, then it's like, well, you're a dumbass because you put your hand right next to the dog. And now they're gonna say, "Oh, you can't do that."
They
again,
even go to your house and kill your dog.
it's a pussification of America. It's basically
is.
again
And it started when every single kid
good
in
times make weak
school
men.
got a trophy. Because
Oh,
every kid won
God.
something, some kind of award at school, instead of making them have to do their homework, attendance, all the different things. You had to be in a phys ed. Do they even have phys ed anymore in school? Would they
No,
have to
because
go to
no,
phys
because it's
ed?
racist.
That's probably racist, Janet.
It's like,
What was it?
it's
Who was
just
it? Oregon?
pathetic. I mean,
Oregon
I took
says
shop.
no more meth tests because they're
I took
racist.
shop and agri in school because I didn't want to take any of those girl classes, And my mom's the one that made me. When I was in 11th grade, she signed me up to take like a class where I had to go and learn how to set a table and sit like a lady and cross my ankles and all this stupid shit because she wanted me to be ladylike. Well, I'm happy now, but back then I was like not happy about it. I'd rather go horseback riding and
Yeah, the game I used to play when I was a kid, and then the game, what is it? The game that my wife and I used to play. Well, she's not here anymore; she's dead. Was Scrabble.
Mm-hmm. I
I
love
love
Scrabble.
that. Scrabble's fun, especially when you like gonna Scrabble.
Well, Scrabble was good for your mind, and most games did, because when you were playing Monopoly or Phase 10 or any of this, you had to strategize it.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to win? And that was another game, Stratego. I love Stratego, the board game.
Never played it.
My dad and I would play, and you'd get to take over in other countries and things like that and try to rule the world, that type of thing. It was fun. But it's just sad because nowadays kids play video games, like me. I like playing Goat Simulator. I talk about it, but to me, I like it because it's not a game with guns. It's not guns and stuff. It's a goat. You run around the city with a goat and you butt people, and you break the windows and you trash stuff. There's no guns, no bombs or anything like that. So, but the thing is, you're playing, and next thing you know, you've been playing for 6 hours. So,
what are you doing? Microsoft Edge. You use Edge? My God.
Me?
I don't know. What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't
I was going to Goat Simulator.
Oh, yeah. I just love this game, and I really need to. I bought the computer and stuff that I have because Bruce told me. I sent him a bunch of stuff. I said, "What should I get?" And he said it was a good one. But the thing is, I wanted to be able to play this live on my channel. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Does it have a screaming goat? Those ones that go.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Really?
It's got you earn goats. You get different goats, like the devil goat, the angel goat, the queen goat, the king goat, by doing different things.
What the hell is this?
That's the tongue goat.
Oh, it looks like it's going backwards.
It is.
I wonder why.
Satan. That's why.
Oh, he's got blown up.
Yep.
Oh, he busted through the window. Yeah, see, that's a jetpack goat.
You see, this should be the thing. This is what they did to that statue in Iowa.
Oh, it is from an explosion. I blew that gas station up. I've done that. Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun fun. Have you guys ever played? Us four should play this game.
I don't. I only have a.
You have Steam,
I only
Janet?
have a Chromebook, so it won't allow me to play games like this.
Oh, too
Oh, that's
bad.
a shame because this is a
Because,
very good game.
Yeah, I bought a new computer just so I could do all this stuff with Bruce.
Chromebook.
Yeah,
Get rid of Chromebook.
Let me show you
that's all I can afford right now.
here. You need a 2 gigahertz dual core, and that's about it. It uses, I think, Unreal 3. So about every integrated graphic and audio chip should be available.
What's the processor on your thing, Orange Hat?
Energy Star, Intel Inside. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, we should
All I
talk later
know
then.
is
Yeah.
I can fix it easy.
I years ago I tried to play, like SpongeBob SquarePants game where you have to drive the hamburger around with Patrick. I never could finish it because I was so shitty. I just could not play games. I'm not very good. So this one, you don't have to drive a car or anything. You're just a goat running around, ramming stuff, tearing things up. And the only thing I can't do is the ones where you have to have 2 people. You have to have 2 people to like do certain tasks, and I don't have anyone to play with, so I don't know how to do any of that. I can't finish those.
I've got Goat Simulator. It's in my
Well,
library.
we need to one day, since you know that stuff better, you and I play, and I'll join you. And
Is
then
this free or you pay for this thing?
It's like $5.
it came with mine. When I set up all the stuff, it was one of the free games that was included. So
I don't get these games.
That's one reason why I picked it too.
It's
But
$10.
I laughed.
I consider playing games like watching porn.
I laugh.
Okay.
I laugh. There's one part in it, and there's a park, like with a roller coaster and stuff. And I was like, they have this here because you have to do something with it. Why would it be in this game if nobody's supposed to do anything? So I was kept trying to figure out how to do it, because you have no hands. You got hoofs. So I go up to the elevator and I'm up there and I just take my tongue and I stick it to the seat, the seat, because your tongue can stick to stuff. You can grab people and drag them around and stuff like that. It's just, I laugh so much.
Oh my God.
But I stuck my tongue on there, and then the roller coaster starts to go, down the loops and all that, and I'm flying out, and my tongue's all stretched out, and I'm whipping around, but I stayed on. So I was able to do that and get that little trophy for that. So you just have to play it and figure things out. But I laugh the whole time. It's just hilarious. So
Does the goat scream at all? He goes, but the people scream. Now, if you run over people, like to get the devil goat, I had found this pentagram up in the mountains, and it has like red torches that leads you to it. So I found that, and I was like, okay, it's a pentagram, so you probably have to sacrifice people. So I went down the mountain there's a barbecue going on behind this one house, and people were playing music and dancing. So I took my tongue and stuck it on this lady, and I just dragged her up through the hill because I didn't know how to get her on my back or anything. I dragged her all the way up there, and I put her on the pentagram, and she stuck there. So I had to get a bunch of people, and it was after 5 people. When I took the 5th person up there and put it on the pentagram, they molded into this big morphed ball, like pulsating ball, and they were like wiggling, and it turned into the devil goat. And then the people got up and they screamed and ran away. So I was able to figure that out, but it took forever. I didn't know how to do anything. But it was funny. You can't stop laughing. Orange Hat, I take him by the devil goat.
Looks
Where'd
like
you
our friend Orange Hat he says, I'm going to fall asleep soon. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, you're about to go to bed?
I'm getting tired.
Well,
I got to get up soon.
2 hours, so
Yeah.
we can pretty much. It's after 11, so.
Where can people find you?
It's after midnight on my side. So.
Well, I know. I'm sorry, but
It's
I'm just
okay.
saying. So you can go ahead and tell everybody about your channel and stuff.
Well, I am Orange Hat. I do sometimes do movie reviews if the inspiration strikes. I cover controversial Hollywood topics as well as topics that I feel are important. I'm not too political on my channel, but that's what my friend Janet's for. I can come onto her channel and be political, but I also stream this over onto my side for Orange Hat Uncensored, so that works there. But yeah, also Sunday night I do my weekly recaps. Tuesday I do my theme streams, which is coming up is Rocky IV, a Christmas movie. I got, I believe not this week, but next week is Gremlins on my friend Jade Shadow's channel and Krampus on my channel on Thursday. And then Gremlins 2 the following week and Violent Night on the following Thursday. And after that, just relaxing for the rest of the year. So trying to get to 1,500 subs. So if you guys can all get me there, that'd be awesome. Trying to get the 4,000 hours so I can be eligible for full-time or for full monetization.
Can you put the link in the chat or no?
Huh?
Can you put your link in the chat or no? For everybody?
I can try.
Don't try. Do it.
Put it in
Don't
the
try.
private
There's
chat.
no
I'll
try.
share it. If you
Let
can
me
share it
just
with me.
Grab my
I'm
YouTube
trying to
thing in
learn
here.
how to do
Orange.
that.
Hold on, I got it. I got it.
Oh,
Here
thank
we
you.
go.
Bruce. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
thank you.
No problem. If you guys could give
But,
a sub to our friend Orange Hat Reviews, his link is in the general commentary there.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah,
He's
I
been around for a
enjoy being
long
on
time.
Janet and Bruce's streams. They're fun. They allow me to talk politics which is fun because I don't, like I said, don't get too political. But yeah,
Well, I like Orange Hat. I've been following him for quite a while. I think he's smart. He's funny. He just seems to love life, and he cares about our country. And that's why I asked him to join us on this show, because I think he's got a good perspective, and he's also one of my friends on Twitter. So that's another reason, and YouTube and Instagram. So I think he's awesome. So you should go follow him.
Thank you
Go
so
ahead,
much.
Ruben. It's your turn now.
Oh, okay. So thank you very much again in the shit show, because again, all these we're living in the shit show, but it's fine.
That's right.
So basically, you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram for now, temporarily. I'm moving everything to X. Essentially, what I'll be doing, again, like I said, I'm trying to find a place to live. I'm basically now determined now to sell the remainder of my stuff. It's almost the end of the year, and I need to basically be in a place where I could start a new life. So I'm looking for that place. But right now, my biggest thing right now is my weight loss journey. Basically, it's not, again, what I have is I have a condition that I didn't know for a long time, myasthenia gravis. It's a very rare autoimmune condition. My muscle weakness is really bad, but I have had these tumors throughout my body, and that's what I'm trying to get rid of now, the tumors, but naturally. And I basically radically changed my food, and I've now dedicated my channel, My Weight Loss Quest on YouTube, to be solely about weight loss and changing who we are. And it comes down to one thing. Men's health issues are not being spoken about. There are a lot of men that are self-deleting right now. We have to talk about that. And basically, it's the culture that we have. Toxic male. You can't be where you had Will Ferrell doing things about women need to rule the world. No, we have to come together, and we're not going to be divided anymore. We have to stand together. It's the most important thing. So that's what I'm doing on my weight loss channel, and I have my YouTube channel, but I'm going to be doing more on Rumble. But again, and putting it out there. And I have working with Front Porch Conservative on Twitter. We're doing political analysis, and what I'm going to be doing is more there. I am going to revamp my consulting company. It's because I was a consultant for 30 years, but I worked for corporations. So I don't want to work for a McDonald's, which I did work for. I don't want to work for a United Healthcare. I don't want to work for Aetna. Pfizer. I did work for Pfizer before. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to work for you. So anybody out there, follow me. If you want help with your computer and give it advice, they can do that. Build a website, build your business. You have an idea, contact me, because again, I'm basically contacted Gary, Chris Gore, the Decent Gamers crew about, because again, we have to start now. That alternate economy that Ripa talks about and other people talk about has to be done now, and we have to start doing it now. Don't sit around. Don't wait for something to happen. You have to act now. So follow me, and I'll be there to help. And then again, all I want at the end is another connection to find a home and then be at peace, because I basically want to snap my fingers, bring abundance to the world, and then just be left alone. That's my goal.
Well, I hope you get what you want. I really do.
Thank you.
Hey, Bruce, it's your turn.
All right. First off, I want to say thank you to all the people that were watching us on Rumble. As far as I know, we had between 2 and 12 at various points. And thank you, Rumble. Although you guys don't really chat much, do appreciate your continued support. Would like to eventually port to Rumble. Also, would like to thank Google AdSense for the money that they sent me. And that mainly wasn't actually due to any one individual stream or creator that subscribed to me or got a membership. I literally got an email 2 months ago asking me to turn on memberships, and they would give me $500. So yeah, I was like, well, shit, I really can't say no to that. So I've
Who
been,
would?
I mean, I'll take it, you know. And I mean, I'll show this to you here. Like, when you guys do your monetization for YouTube, don't expect like windfalls of money. Okay, don't. It's not going to happen. However, where did I put it at?
You want me to share it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So close that, and we hit the revenue requirement which they wanted, and so far, like, I guess we'll be hitting.
Oh, YouTube sent you this. I thought you were talking about Rumble.
No, Google.
Oh, Google. Okay.
Google is part of what. Anyway, that large hydra that I just talked about there. There's a chunk of money come down. I'm thankful for that. You guys didn't have to. I don't really believe in your statements anymore, since you guys no longer believe and do no evil. Google, you're kind of doing evil. So you know. But I wanted to let you know, like, there are some things that you can count on whenever they say turn this on, we'll give you money, do it. You don't have much to lose. If you got friends that are like, yeah, I'll give you $1, I'll jump in your membership program for $5 or $20, whatever it is. If you have friends like that believe in you and are like, dude, I don't want you to go without fuel because I know you got a real job, I know you need to get to work, or I know you need tires or whatever. If you have friends like that, go for it. Seriously, like, everybody needs a hand up. At some point, they're going to come back to you and be like, hey, man, can I get a 40 off you? Yeah, no problem. Here's 40 or here's 80. You know, you believed in me, I'll believe in you. And a lot of times that happens. That really does. Between friends, between people that respect each other, you get that a lot. But I want to say thank you. Still in the moment, the season of being thankful in abundance. I'm not in abundance by any means, but I think all of us should probably take a little bit more time to be thankful for the things that we do have, and be vigilant against the people and the entities out there that are trying to take away what you do have. Therefore, whenever you hear about people talking about doing some new movement or some new thing, what do you mean $58 trillion transfer of wealth from one group of people to another? Investigate that, and you're going to find out a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to get down a rabbit hole that you don't want to really dive into, but you need to know about it. You really do. There's a lot. Me and Janet, Ruben, Orange Hat, we don't have the time in the week to go through all the stuff from the inception, the impetus to where it's at now. You want to know about it?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it one of these days. With that being said, thank you. And you can follow me on my YouTube channel, which has been around for a few years. I do not suggest anybody who's short of money to start a YouTube channel. I suggest you go out and get a job, learn some skills.
Oh yeah, and just I saw that soy-based Jeremy. You basically talk about sugar. That is the biggest scam out there. The sugar industry got rid of the fat, so now they're trying to go after meat, get rid of that, and all be plant-based, all that bullshit. But here's the thing: they purposely make things, add sugar to everything and say it's fat free, but sugar is what is a contributor to cancers and disease, and
Mhm.
that is horrible. So yeah, if it's a natural sugar like a honey or agave, do that instead. But then if you don't want to, just add a blend up a fruit, a lemon
Yeah,
water or lemon water or
fruit.
pineapple or whatever,
And some vegetables even have sugar, natural sugars in them.
yeah, and then add that. Yeah, add those natural into you. And that's the whole idea. Their body wants the natural stuff. Because think about it. Third world countries don't have the issues we have because, again, it all goes down to the convenience of everything.
Yeah,
The
they don't
convenience
have
of,
all the drive-throughs
yes.
and grocery stores stocked with chips and
Right.
candy bars and
Yep.
all that crap.
Real good food to eat. White rice.
Mhm.
But
I
then
like
make sure you wash. Make sure you wash it.
I
Yeah.
like
Make
fruits
sure-
and vegetables and
Get the
and a
starch
lot of
out.
steak and
Yeah, that's
bacon.
what I've been eating. I've been eating a lot of that. So I
I love
basically
bacon and steak.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
use a good protein. A good protein. Chicken is the most the food, the meat with the most hormones in it. So avoid it's red meat.
Well, mine isn't.
I know,
because
no, unless it's a
mine
farm.
Mine are
Yeah.
free. Yeah, I don't get my stuff from the grocery store.
Exactly.
chicken, yeah.
Clarifier. Yes. But that's the whole
I mean-
idea. If the government says something's bad for you, it's probably not bad for you.
Yeah, it's probably good for you. Just like what I'm always telling Bruce about Rotten Tomatoes, the website. When you see the ratings from the people compared to the Hollywood people, it's a huge difference because if the movie's big and the Hollywood people like it, I'm not going to waste my money on it. And I'm almost always right because if they like it, then I'm not going to. So if the audience loves it, if it's got high ratings from people like me, then it's probably going to be good and I'll give it a chance.
That's true.
And that's how it works for me. So
yeah, all natural honey. You get it for
don't forget,
natural.
Bruce,
Yeah.
you didn't say anything about our next Sunday. We will be
tomorrow.
watching- Yeah.
Later today, actually, for those of you that are in Reuben or Orange Hat's location or further east, me and Janet will be in a Dungeons and Dragons style tabletop game. I've been rewriting the rules for that and been putting some things down, getting more and more solidified. Janet, there is a document in the Discord if you wish to download and look at. It doesn't have all the information that you really need in it, but that's just it's just like a proof of like I've been working on it. I've got like 5 chapters in. We're like page 90, so it's not. And I'm probably going to look at about page 700 pages on this thing. Brett Yemens, yeah, aspartame is bad. Any type of chewing gum is bad. Bubble gum,
Anything
like
processed is bad. Jesus.
Bubble gum is not bad. Hubba Bubba is not bad. But if you're chewing like wintergreen or something with spearmint flavoring, it's probably got aspartame. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, giant spiders are in the cellar. We've got that game tomorrow at 12 noon, 12:30 actually. And for those of us in the game that didn't get to did not get to see Lady Ballers, we'll be having some little bit of time there to start just to figure out when can I stream this for y'all because you guys need to see it. It's a badass movie. All right, with that, back to you.
If anybody wants to watch it with us, please send us a message, and as soon as we figure out we can get everybody together, we can watch Lady Ballers in Discord, on Bruce's Discord. So if you want to watch it, because I'm telling you, it's really good. It's very good entertainment. I've missed so much being able to laugh at stuff, making fun of people again, because that's comedy, right? None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all fuck up. And it's good to laugh at ourselves. And this movie is one of those movies. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not a movie that's going to win an Academy Award or anything, but comedy is supposed to make you laugh, right?
And this is one of the few comedies that made me laugh in years.
But Sunday, we'll be watching another movie in Discord for, we're not?
Yes, we are. It's Escanaba.
Yes, we're going to be watching another movie. And then
What?
Monday night, we'll do our movie review again. And then the following Friday, well, hopefully, if depends on whether people are going to be around or not for the holidays, we might be having a shit show. So we'll just have to wait and see. But
Janet, we'll have
I'll
to
be
discuss
here.
it afterwards, but there may be some changes to our movies in the future. I don't know
Yeah.
if I'll be able to secure things on Plex, because I think the guy who owns that Plex, he sent me a message today saying he's possibly going to be leaving the Mortal Coil. So yeah,
okay.
I mean, we know that he's had bad health issues for a while, but it's getting close. With that being stated, yeah, Escanaba is a real place. Escanaba into Moonlight. It's a funny little movie about a bunch of fud suckers. No, actually, it's about you peers. And those of you that understood what I just said,
I haven't seen it before, so it'd be a new movie.
Michigan-based holiday comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Janet, I'm going to shut up so you can discuss things further, or you can shut this down.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone in the chat for hanging out with us tonight, and I hope we entertained you for a little bit, take you away from your regular TV programs or whatever. But we would not, be what we are able to do if it wasn't for you guys. So everything belongs to you guys, the chat. And I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for supporting all of our channels and giving us something to do for fun. So you guys have a great night, and thank you so much. And I hope to see you later on.